Jake here for American Muscle, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the K&N Series 63 AirCharger Cold Air Intake fitting 2011 to 2015 V6 Camaros. If you're looking for an easy way to improve the drivability and response of your V6 Camaro, then you've got to take a look at this intake from K&N. This one is specifically designed to increase airflow and reduce intake temperatures versus your stock intake setup, which is going to make for a noticeable difference in the way your car drives and responds. And it doesn't require a tune either, so it's an easy setup. K&N has long been the name in cold air intakes, and with good reason. Their intakes and filters are high quality, long-lasting pieces that provide noticeable improvements in overall drivability. And this Series 63 AirCharger system is no exception. So let's start with that filter. This is a washable, reusable, high-flow oiled filter to help capture dirt and particulates. Now this is noticeably larger than your stock one, and so it's inherently going to let a lot more air through. And these deep pleats in the filter help with both flow and trapping that unwanted debris. Now, since this is an oiled design, you get the added benefit of having that additional layer of protection against dirt and particulates. The oil on the surface is nice and sticky, so it can help filter out some of even the smallest particulates that might otherwise slip through a dry filter. The best part is you can wash this out. You wash it, re-oil it, pop it right back in, and you're ready to go. No need to replace it. Now, oiled filters like this one have a pretty long lifespan, especially if they're properly cared for, so it's going to cut down on replacement costs. Now, K&N says that you can go up to 100,000 miles without cleaning this filter, but that is in ideal conditions. I would recommend cleaning this out every year or so to make sure everything is performing at its best. When I run one of these on my own car, I tend to clean it usually in the spring and in the fall before the crazy seasons start to hit. Now, we also see plenty of heat shields for cold air intakes, but I like this one because it actually seals to the hood, hence this gigantic piece of weather stripping here. So it makes the whole filter sort of a self-contained unit. And as opposed to a more restrictive air box or a more open, smaller heat shield, this one is large enough to allow for good airflow, but it keeps things sealed off enough to make sure that the air is being pulled from outside as opposed to from inside the engine bay, which again is going to help make sure those intake temperatures stay low. So you get maximum airflow and minimum temperatures, and a lower intake temperature means better combustion, which can mean more power for you. And since the air filter is also visible as soon as you pop the hood, it's easy to check on the cleanliness and condition of the filter without having to disassemble everything, and servicing that filter is also easy too. Now, attaching all of that trickery to the intake manifold itself is our intake tube here, which is lightweight and smooth for maximum airflow. Now, because you have that more open box design, the larger filter and a larger solid intake tube, this is going to give you some more sound. Intakes are great for this additional sound because while you're cruising around at lower speeds, you don't hear a whole lot. But once you crack that throttle open, you get this really nice intake noise, and I am personally a big fan of that. You also get a little Venturi adapter here that's going to help smooth out that airflow, again, making for better response and a little bit more sound to go with it. Now, another big positive of this one is that this is a no tune required intake, so you don't need to invest in a custom tune or flash tuning module to get this setup to work on your Camaro. However, as with any intake, don't expect huge power gains here. You'll still feel some difference in the way the car responds, but big power gains are not the end goal here. And of course, even though a tune is not required, we do recommend one to maximize your performance gains. Construction-wise, that filter we were talking about earlier is that cotton gauze media, and again is an oiled design. So this is again going to do an excellent job of filtering out dirt and debris. The intake tube we were just talking about is made from roto-molded polyethylene, again providing excellent airflow and heat resistance, as well as that nice resonance we were discussing a moment ago. The heat shield here is made from black powder-coated metal and includes that new hefty piece of weather stripping to keep things sealed up properly. And you get all the fixings that you need as well, including new clamps, a little new vacuum line, the bracketry, and the boots for this as well. So everything comes included in the kit, and it's all pretty nice too, as you would expect from a company like K&N. Pricing for this one comes in at about $400, and that sort of puts it in the middle of the category, but as with most things, you do get what you pay for here. So if you're looking for a high quality air intake that's an easy bolt-on upgrade and it's still not going to break the bank, this one is a great middle ground to go with. It's going to give you that improved drivability, that extra sound, and some additional filtering capabilities without having to go overboard on price. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter and should only take you about an hour to complete. Now again, all of the pieces, the clamps, and everything that you need to get the job done are included in the box. So this is a bolt-on operation that doesn't require you to make any modifications to your car to install it. With that though, let's go ahead and hand the torch over to one of our AM customers who's going to walk you through the install process.
For the tools used in assembly, there's a 10mm socket, a 13mm socket, a 3mm bit, a 4mm bit, the ratchet, the socket extenders right here, a flathead screwdriver, and a pair of scissors. The first step is to remove the carpet from the trunk, and then to unscrew this, and to remove this plate, and lift up the tire, and then your battery's right here. Pull out this plate right here, and then there's the negative charge.
First, I'm going to remove the negative terminal of the battery. Next, you need to remove the oil filter cap and take off the cover. Next, I'm going to disconnect the crankcase vent hose. Next, I'm going to loosen the hose clamp holding the intake hose. Slide the red locking tab back and then disconnect the mass air sensor. Set it aside. And I'm going to unattach the upper airbox clips. And then remove the hose assembly. Next, I'm going to remove the 10mm bolts holding in the lower air assembly. After removing the 10mm nuts and the air filter, I'm going to pull out the lower air box assembly. Move the airbox mounting grommet from the frame. Alright, step 9 will be to install the mounting bracket to the heat shield using the 16mm bolts provided. Step 10 is to install the filter adapter onto the heat shield. You're going to use a locking washer and a regular washer. All right, step 14 will be to install the silicone hose onto the filter adapter and secure it with the hose clamp.
Step 11 is putting on the edge trim.
I'm going to remove the sensor from the old air hose assembly, air assembly. Attach the module to the bracket using the 3mm bolts, and then attach the bracket to the air hose 4mm bolts. Get it good and tight to close the seal on the gasket, grommet. Next, I'm going to insert the heat shield into the vehicle. I'm going to insert into the where the hole where the grommet came out of, and the provided fender washer. Next, I'm going to install the 10mm nut down over the stud. Then I'm going to tighten down the nut down here. Next, you'll want to insert the elbow into the hose. Make sure you have the hose clamps on. Once in place, just tighten down the hose clamps. I'm going to install the vent fitting into the intake tube. Next, I removed the 90-degree hose and installed the provided hose to attach to the unit. Next, we'll put the air filter in and tighten down the hose clamp, put it in place. Lastly, reattach the terminal to the battery and tighten it down.
That's going to wrap it up here for our review and install of the K&N Series 63 AirCharger Cold Air Intake, fitting 2011 to 2015 V6 Camaros. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, for all things Camaro, be sure to keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.